Hello, I'm Dakurai, and welcome to part 1 of the RivalsofAether workshop tutorial series. These tutorials will try to cover everything, from the basics all the way to highly advanced things. This series will hopefully serve as both an entry point for newcomers, as well as a guide and reference point for advanced creators. However, most importantly, it will aim to create a shared standard for how specific things are made. In this part, we will tackle some of the basics and how to properly set up your work environment. So first of all, let's talk about files. When you download something from the workshop, it is saved in the online workshop folder. This folder is found inside Steam and contains all the things you've downloaded. This folder is used to play online with the things you downloaded and will not allow you to edit them, as this is the folder that Steam Workshop handles. In order to create custom things for Workshop, you'll need to work in the local workshop folder. In order to find it, simply head to the Windows search bar and type the following. Not in here, just in the search bar. Then you'll see a folder named local. Click it and then RivalsofAether. Open that one and look for a folder called workshop. If there isn't one, simply create one. And then you can just put in whatever things you want to make. This folder specifically is only for characters and buddies. Stages have their separate folder, which is outside of the workshop folder, called stages. Now, let's talk about the work environment. You will not be working in Notepad because that's torture, and the recommended work environment for this is GMEdit. This is an IDE, integrated development environment, that is simply just a fancy text editor that has a few extra functionalities. You can find a download link for it in the description or in the GitHub that we will share in the description of this video. And in order to properly set it up, we'll need to download the dialect. If you head to this class's folder, you'll be able to find the zip. Otherwise, it will also be linked in the description. In order to set up the dialect, go to Preferences after downloading, head down to Dialects directory, take the zip of the dialect, open it, and simply drag this in the Dialects folder. Replace if you need. And then you'll be done. Simply reload GMEdit. And now whenever you go to a characters folder and grab their config.ini, you can just drag it over and the character will be opened as a project. There is an alternative to GMEdit, which is VS Code. You'll be able to use VS Code to make characters, and in order to set up VS Code for it, you simply need to head to the extensions area and look for Rivals. This is the extension you're looking for, the RivalsofAether GML support, which has syntax highlighting and all the good stuff you may want from it. We will not be using this one in this tutorial series. However, you can see once it's downloaded, if you go to a script and start typing, you'll get the autocomplete for things. It means that it's installed correctly. Same thing can be seen here. You open a script and start typing, you'll see the autocomplete. Now, let's talk about resources. This course comes with a GitHub that you'll be able to use. It has a folder for each part of this tutorial and will contain any relevant material for your use. It will also contain templates and anything that is shown, as well as extra things that might be useful. Now, let's talk about templates. Characters usually aren't made from scratch. Instead, what people often use are templates. This one here is the empty template, which is the one I use and I will mostly use throughout these tutorials. However, some recommended templates include Tester or Sandbird, depending on what you like. As for frame data, there is a website where you can reference character frame data from Basecast that will also be linked. Or you can also use the frame data woodcock, which is a body that allows you to view character frame data. As for sprites, it is recommended you use the spriting software of your preference. There are plenty of guides to follow RivalsofAether's art style, but looking at Basecast characters is the best way to. Now let's talk about opening up your workshop character. Once you have the folder there with everything, you simply copy paste the template in the workshop folder, you should be able to see your character. It should be blank in my case, as I'm using the empty template. See, it's nothing. However, we will be able to change it later. This just means that the folder has been placed correctly and has been read correctly by the game. It's important you learn how to reload the character in case you make changes to the code, which is done by pressing F5. This will reload all the data of the character. In case of stages, however, you need to outright quit and then reopen the stage. Now, lastly, there is one more way of reloading, which is by rebooting the game. If I were to take out or add a character folder in my workshop folder, the game wouldn't see it right away, as characters are compiled at the start. Instead, what you need to do is completely reboot the game, which will guarantee you reload all the assets in your workshop folder. This will be all for the first part. I'll see you on the next part where we'll cover character basics and character data.